That's his so-called church organization. Yeah, so-called people of God. No, in coordination with the zealots from the Middle East, because you already know what's going on behind the scene across different regions. So the minute they get to go off on like, no, because again, we try to tell the losers, we're like, yo, you have crazy psychopaths that will go all the fucking way over to then go off on like lure a whole bunch of people inside of a space and then have them go off and like create a miniature society as if it was like a human experiment. To then go off and breed children just so they could go off and like somewhat wear kin with a suit and then try to go off and like look like all honorable towards like other like honor bald eagles. So just imagine like you have certain bald eagles on certain level that look like they're fucking flying to the sky because of the fact that they control certain states and they feed them on the space and they get to look like big daddies on the space. And then eventually in that direction, there's like one dude here that goes crazy. Then he wants to go off and be just like this bald eagle. So he goes off and he fucking lures a whole bunch of people inside of a spaceship and then breed them to death. To intentionally just go off and breed a population. So he go off and feed them bananas and they go off and like finally go up there with the bald eagles and go off and wear his kin. If it's sort of just for that itself, just for the ability to go off and feel empowered into my spaces up. They were willing to go off and like waste a whole bunch of like human lives into like nothingness instead of a progress. That's why to like 1,000 years into more specific, and then by the time they don't, we are making such a big mess. If they can't sustain the population, you know the architectural problem that happened with the structure over time, when it crumbles and then it become you have to go off and like waste money and resources to try to repair it into more specific. So that's why the civilization that follow that path itself. Because infinity hits it from like the different environments around the special, and then eventually poverty hits it, and then the worst mind get created, and then in the cannibalism, it's some collapse on itself. It start eating itself up around the special. So somewhere he's gonna look and hide somewhere. Yeah, it's gonna be like big daddy over here that created the civilization, just like Yakub, into more special up, and there just somewhere. When that shit crumble into more special, they're gonna be like sadistic, like all sorts of shit. That's what like they're crying about the. It's like witchcraft, but like mad insane into more special. And then somehow they make it outside the religious system over here, because opposition attracts. That's where there's like a misery, you're gonna find the perverts into more offense, the missionaries. Yeah, the perverted priest is gonna come out. Pervert priest is gonna come out and look for like the starving children that he's gonna molest more on the fucking special. Just go off and like somewhat silently and quietly go off and do one of the worst crime you can ever imagine, which is way to like another way to go off and like somewhat imbue a soul into like a property into my offense special. But in this space here, that's a perversion. That's where to like just want to go off and like have sex with children into more offense. So they find a calling inside the missionary circle to go off and feed the hungry. And that's basically they always exploit the poorest into more offense facility within that civilization. So that's why the church and like all the fucking mad crazy fucking dudes over here that don't go off and cry together could never fucking fool me into like that shit over here. That's way to like a death hole. Cause I tell you everything about that is like bad luck into more offense facility. Yeah, that's death itself into like all instinct tell you that this is death itself. That's why it's like a crazy madness that you should never follow inside the domain of the church. All that stuff, like I say, instinctively, yeah, I could see what George Washington over here avoided across Europe. Yeah, he won. Even his writing for like 275 years ago. What's up? Yeah, I will still go off and like make it up to you into my offense for Southside. Just like the others into my offense, they warned you about instinctively they put out the warning. Because you won't find inside the art space until like those that know how to communicate from like the difference, because they obtain the instinct and the experience from like observing from the top, if in certain maps, and they get to like go off and imbue it within the domain of philosophy. So within the macabre world over here, they got to imbue so much warnings to you inside the domain of like human nature, so in the sense that's like mad evil, right? But because the Navy hire a whole bunch of dumbass moments. This is the fucking moment, that I fucking work with. That fucking caused that calamity into more fucking things. It's a piece of shit on the highest level. What's a fucking moment, and a fucking set of fucking degenerates on the fucking yard over there. What's up? One fucking job. I would never fucking expect that one fucking job that I take on as an electrician for one neighbor yard would go off and turn into a horror movie. That then led to the fucking cataclysmic casualties on such a high level. Just because of the fact that it's right next to like a war zone that was next to the Alamo and like the genocide National Cruiser on the Swiss side. So the space haunts them due to like the genocidal conflict that they engage into. So inside that space here, there's like a drug network that going off and make it through no matter what. Yeah. No, the problem that I had is that they went to the hip hop community because at the time I was hearing a topic about people somewhat swapping out ingredients in drugs with the intent to kill and not to make profit on the space up, and how that was raised. Because within the space here you're gonna find different faction of the music community, and you already know that certain groups will go off and wear the hood as like a fashion, and then you're gonna know that sometimes you're gonna find the rich camouflage inside the hood to go off and check the goods on the space up, and they make a total mockery of like the low intelligence that they see inside the space up. Even though that's their product inside the space up, that's why it's like a hidden network that they compete for heavily to be someone escape the codes that they build amongst their own, so that the others do not go off and suspect them of like engaging into like cheating the rules and other things on the space up. So they go down inside the lower sector. Yeah, as the bosses, they go down and they beat them down into more specific until they could go off and put them into chains, and then go off and exploit the poor area as much as possible to go off and hide a contraband network or a secret network into more specific to go off and make it much more easier for them to have access to like rules or spaces where he cannot be monitored into like whatever they want to do specific. A good example would just be like I don't know, surgery that they want to perform without a feedback from like a regulatory group that's going to be part of the church, because of the fact that the grand master of the church, in terms of all logic, will declare this stuff to like be somewhat witchcraft, and then show another progress of science will go off and like someone disagree, so they go off and like someone create a tunnel inside the poor sector to go off and exploit it. Yeah, until like all logic and reason to then go off and make a progress and a fortune on the special. So I said by the end of the day, yeah, one fucking neighbor yard. Yeah, I feel for a whole bunch of like gossiping hoes in there. That's how I would go off and link me to like some of the worst type of females that just want to go off and like I'll go for men that doesn't even talk to them directly or nothing like that. Just a dude that just talking on the phone. And then randomly you found a random mentally ill female out of nowhere that was paying attention to his phone over the last 4 years and stalking him inside his phone, just to go off and like bicker with the dude, just for an argument. A random female will go off and stick inside the phone of a homeless dude, just to fucking show up in reality and go off and create. I was like, what the fuck? That's mental illness to my offense. Yeah, so somebody created a problem for me with the hip hop community until like egotistical individuals that just cannot go off and like understand what the internet is, opinions, and these niggas just want like, well, fuck it, let's go full hood and like go off and like fucking help out the feds and do all sorts of shit that's with like human experiment, all sorts of stupid ass shit that's like mad dumb. And by the time you're done over here, I say it even ended up even better than what I expected into my offense percent. It was all that shit over here. Mattered. I probably form an opinion about groups that go off and put witchcraft inside music to go off and like create a beat that's way to like war itself or up to go off and discourage it inside of a space where like you have like individuals that go off and like fucking kidnap children to then go off and toss them inside of a space. The same way that they did with like the others, and they ship them off to Russia to go off and fight that war and so on. Yeah, I probably could, even though I did it correctly inside the United States, privately within a form on the board itself, the government itself, yeah, the government itself went full ghetto. Yeah, and then went out to like go full fucking retard on the fucking space, and that shit even ended up even better than what I expected. Cause I said that's what makes my life or my destiny feel even much more higher on the prayer. So what coincidence is that one particular dude that's minding his own business or something will go off and like have a government body go off and break the rules and try to kill him in the process, and eventually somehow the celestial realm over here turn that shit into a meat grinder for profit. Yeah, well, coincidentally, it's like you have like a torrent into Martin especially, and then eventually it's somewhat going down to like a hole like that Niagara Fall over here, but that hole right now is like a small little hole, especially, but to that current that's dragging down into Martin especially, Yeah, that strong one into that strong pull itself up. Slowly but surely into like the acceleration that it's going into. Yeah, it's pretty much gonna wipe off all of civilization inside of a MiG rider World War III. Just because of the fact that somewhere in there, lust could not be resisted for profit over the opportunity that's way to like watching stocks, cryptocurrency, and like new companies go off and be built up, man, especially because of the fact that the older generation that's in the 50s missed out a whole bunch of stuff because they were uneducated, and because of the fact that they need to go off and survive, or like someone tried to like think that they could copy young people on the special because they didn't know where the tricks were and all that stuff like that. So within that domain of grid where like the frog eats the other frog, especially within the psychology of human anthropology as a hive, coincidentally, they found a smart person into morphing that just like, well, with a badass instincts. Just watch the entire civilization go off and kill itself over the envy of money and the depression and some of the things that they could not have into morphing special. So based off of that itself, they create a human chain. Yeah, that's where to a world domain that evolves with an advanced technology within a hacking world. That's where to exploiting systems physically around the special. And make sure that I said, you know where that's going to lead to, especially on top. Yeah, full out, all out war into morphing special, just like the others have predicted into the simulation area. I don't even know if I'll see it before. I don't even know if I'll make it before the red sun is posted. Mr. Red Quantum AI Sun over with his fast calculations within the system itself. That's going to destabilize a whole bunch of like encrypted networks on other systems on, especially because of the fact that the pace will be going to will go off and introduce a micro level. You see the same size of that bat right inside? Yeah, he's going to introduce that inside the physical domain. Or like continuous warfare, billions of them as a machine system inside the world itself. That's going to go off and demolish civilization as we know it. So I don't know if I'll be able to like, go off and live past that age when I go off and see him. That's about the year a day. Yeah, cause I said about the year a day. I said again, the jealousy of like honor students, because that's pretty much the main feedback that was there from like the University of San Diego that's attached behind the program with the Naval Yard itself, and there you're gonna find like all the fucking military brats. Yeah, that won't go off and raise their hands and like be first and like go off and like try to do things really quickly. And then by the time I'm just like in the back of the classroom, we were just like chilling and going like, well, let me see if I could catch a 30-minute nap over here so I could go off and go to my next job. And then this weekend over here, I might have to go off and like pull out information from this website over here. I have to go off and like create proper plastic systems. So I go off and like create the engine of my private business on the special. Yeah, and just I don't know. Someone go off and like open up this master degrees college book over there about the CPU system. Yeah, to then go off and like see if I could go off and revise a circuit to go off and redesign a mechanical setup on the special while I'm pretending to be in the classroom over there, as if I never done electromagnetic mechanical work. Yeah, it's part of my work over there. Yeah. And then somehow coincidentally, the fucking young thing over there, that's like a machine. Yeah, assume that, because that's how their parents taught them to go off and bully other people on the special. The little nigga didn't know that I served in the military. I dealt with his kind so many times over into the bullying, so he didn't know that I already know. He knew what type of sister, he had, especially as a white girl. Yeah, especially with that young over there, and they might be country into my offense special. So I said, I tell you, they give me a whole bunch of idiots that led to like a fucking deviation back into a cyber devil program that won. Yeah, because of how inexperienced they were, and they actually the flaw that related to the old, until like going out to like try to like go off and like do something before they die because they're so reckless on the special. So the feedback itself would go off and lead to the death. The same way that the other groups who wanted to go off and plan to go off and like make sure they could start World War III and burn down everything on the special. At least throughout that period of time, a couple people got rich and they're having the parties on the special, while all the dickheads inside the government over there will pass on the debt to everybody else on the fucking special, including me over there, that continuously fucking would dissociate myself from this people, and then continuously file FBI report, and continuously give warnings on the fucking special, and continuously from one failure to the next, one group of dumbass Americans to the next that just can't understand. Get the fuck away from me. That's all. Yeah, fucking, what the fuck? I said, no. I said, I do agree with the others like that. I said, fuck them. I said, let them go off and taste that space we're on. By the time they're over there doing all the overtime, the same way that the Palestinians will be doing all the overtime. We're building the cities, all that stuff out. This is to you, Mr. American San Diego, and every other one. So, yeah. So you could go off and like seek out all your overtime into like all the work that you want to do. So you go off and sweat and make everybody feel good around you. Like you go off and like high five and like pass on some caramel milk, and then eventually watch your show just torn apart and die from left to right. That's how you can finally have like your ability to no longer feel lonely. On the special thought. What the fuck is this shit?